Yeah. The shot by LeBron. Look at Danny coming from the side. Up, and bam! Look at Dwight.
Man, Danny Green can't even get one simple dunk without the NBA thinking he's taking PEDs. I know Danny Green isn't exactly a high flyer. Like, you aren't going to find a dunk compilation by him or anything. But at the same time, I mean, if the NBA started drug testing every player that surprised the league, I mean, players would start protesting. Still, you gotta admit, it was pretty funny that that happened to him, and by his tweet, he clearly wasn't too upset about it. I still think it was just a little unnecessary, and kind of funny now that we can clown on the league for doing that, but that's just my opinion. One example where I can't really blame the league is when they drug tested Alex Caruso because of that fake picture of him that went viral of him jacked up in the gym. I mean, look at this guy. If I were the NBA, I would have done the exact same thing. The last thing you want is to send a message to the players that steroids are okay to use in the league. I mean, good God, this dude's massive. Imagine Alex Caruso walking up to get his drug test looking like his old normal self, and the person administering it's probably just sitting there like, oh shit. I bet the league would try to play it off as if it's a normal drug test. Like, yeah, we didn't see the picture, we're just gonna test you anyways, like, I'm sure. Either way, imagine an edited picture of you affecting your daily job. I mean, he probably wasn't too happy about it. Still though, it gets worse than this. Josh Richardson literally tweeted out, I heard Brian's voice in the Family Guy theme song yesterday, and now I can't unhear it. And he got drug tested for that. A fan even called it, saying, you getting drug tested tomorrow for this tweet, G. These are all pretty ridiculous, but I think this one's by far the worst. I mean, the dude made an innocent tweet. I get it's a little suspicious, but I think it was unnecessary to drug test the guy over it. Yeah, Josh Richardson responded to the fan and said, you'll never guess what happened to me this morning, obviously signaling the obvious that he did in fact get drug tested for this. I mean, players can't even make simple tweets anymore. I mean, look at Joel Embiid. You might be drug testing this guy every other tweet for the stuff he's saying. Also, if players are getting drug tested for simple tweets, imagine what's going to happen with the media interviews. They're going to be even more boring because players are going to be scared to speak their mind because something they say can cause them to get drug tested. Of course, this is all just speculation and worst case scenarios, but still, I mean, the point is valid. Like, these players can't even tweet anything. Why would they want to speak to the media if they could get drug tested for stuff like this? Anyways, moving on to our next example. Bradley Beal dropping back-to-back 50-point games. That's right, the NBA doesn't like when you score a lot of points. I guess James Harden's going to have to be living on drug tests for the rest of his life because this dude drops 50 all the time. But Bradley Beal does it in 2 games where they lose, and man, he's just clearly on some steroids or something. Bradley Beal wasn't too happy about it. I'll leave his post-game interview of that game here.
But he was like, shit, I'm not letting you score 50, so teach his own. I guess the league don't want to score 50 either. I got drug tested that, so there you go.
Also, if you look at some of these highlights, he's doing most of his damage from three-point range. I don't think that's how drugs work. I think it'd help him out athletically, but skill-wise and making shots, that wouldn't come in handy too much, so I don't know what the league was thinking, to be honest. Anyways, moving on to our last example, we have Bol Bol in his amazing rookie debut. This is probably the most recent one. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it was viral not too long ago. I mean, the man was making threes, blocking shots, playing like a man possessed, and the NBA decided, let's rain on his parade with a drug test. When Kevin Durant comes back, he better be getting drug tested every game because that's what Bol Bol looks like here. I know it's his first year, but I mean, look at Zion in his first year, Ja Morant. We got rookies that are good all over the place, and Bol Bol's huge the way it is, so he already had a little bit of an advantage. And of course, all these drug tests came back negative, so it just further proves the point that these are all pretty much unnecessary, except for the Alex Caruso one, because if this dude was actually that jacked, I mean, yeah, you gotta drug test him. That's a little ridiculous. But as far as everybody else goes, I mean, back-to-back 50-point games, plenty of players have done that. And Danny Green's dunk, I mean, he jumped super high, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, we see professional athletes jump really high all the time. And as far as Bol Bol, yeah, okay, he did pretty well. I mean, don't you want your players doing well? I don't really understand that, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, like always. You know what? Maybe some of these are just random drug tests that happened at a bad time, but you can't convince me that with Alex Caruso and Danny Green for sure. I mean, what are the odds that they get drug tested directly after those events? I mean, I don't know. The only one you could maybe convince me on is Bradley Beal. Yeah, he had 2 50-point games, so maybe it was just time for his drug test anyways. I don't know how exactly it works. Obviously, I'm not familiar with that process, but either way, I mean, some of these were just too obvious to be proven otherwise. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more, like, all that stuff. Hope you enjoyed my list of players getting drug tested for ridiculous reasons, and peace out.